Hello, everyone. It's great to have you on our Welcome to sessions. My name is Hani, and I'm an Education USA advisor in the Czech Republic. And today we have got Tylee, a Fulbright grantee who is currently spending a year in the Czech Republic teaching English at a gymnasium in Louny. Welcome, Tylee. Thank you for joining us. Today,
Mhm.
our session will be about Welcome to Montana in the United States. Tylee is originally from North Dakota, but she has a strong relation with Montana. So today she will present and share what's happening in Montana. I'll pass
Mhm.
it over to you, Tylee. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So I would like to talk about Montana colleges. I am kind of like an honorary resident of Montana. I go there frequently. I was accepted into college here that I'm gonna go through. Almost moved there, but I decided not to. Um, but basically about Montana a little bit. It's very rocky terrain and mountainous. There's the Rocky Mountains are uh, partly in Montana, on the western part of the state. The population is pretty low, so there's a lot of wide open space. Obviously, in the towns and cities, there's more people. Um, the area is rich in oil, coal, ranching, mining, and timber. So those are kind of the industries. And I feel like just reading those, you kind of get a feel for how it is there. Hiking, skiing, mountain, and winter sports are very popular because there's a lot of places that you can do these things. It's often referred to as the great outdoors, like kind of lifestyle in Montana. And it's a very slow and easy way of life compared to the other states. I think even in like the business areas, you just kind of get like we'll get to it when we get to it kind of feeling and vibe, which is very rare to find in the United States. Um, these are pictures. I included some summer mountain pictures and some winter mountain pictures because there really is mountains everywhere in Montana. Um, there's a lot of ski resorts. You can go hiking in the when there's not snow on the ground. Camping is really big to hike out into the mountains and camp for a few days. You can climb the mountains. You can see wildlife. There's often like bear sightings and things like that. So if you want to get up close with nature, this is a perfect place to do it. Um, Okay, so colleges, I put a map up there again. You can see they're kind of concentrated in the central and western part of the state, and I think that's because there's more to do in these areas. This kind of eastern part of the state by North Dakota is, eh, there's not much there, to be honest. Carroll College, I will talk about, is a private college that is pretty small. Flathead Valley Community College, Miles Community College. There is Montana State University System and the University of Montana System. And their main campuses are in Bozeman and Missoula, respectively, but these both have multiple locations that you could go to school, which I think is really helpful, especially if you maybe don't like that bigger campus vibe. You could maybe pick a smaller one. Then there's also the Montana Tech College or Technical University, which is in Butte, Montana, and then the Rocky Mountain College, which is private. So there is smaller colleges around Montana. In fact, I would say almost exclusively smaller colleges, with the exception of MSU and the University of Montana that I'll talk about. The first one though is Carroll College. This is a private university, and so it is Catholic, meaning there's like a diocese nearby, and there is a chapel on campus. However, you don't have to be Catholic to study here. And that's the case for most, I want to say, colleges that have like a religious affiliation. You're not required to practice that religion to go here. They're not going to force you to go to mass or anything. It was founded in 1909. There's only about 1,000 students, give or take, each year, so it's very small. And there's about 40 majors or minors, and there's only about 25 international students each year, give or take. So a lot smaller compared to those other ones I talked about in Minnesota, or not Minnesota, in North Dakota and South Dakota. So Carroll College is a private college, like I said, Catholic. It's very small, but that also means it's really close-knit. Everyone is kind of in its own, it's like a small town in itself, almost on campus, community-wise. It's very active. There's a really nice modern like wellness center with health care options that they just built, I think, a little while ago. So that's really nice. The options on campus as far as like residence life and dining are not very extensive. However, you can go out into the town, Helena, which is the capital city of Montana, and there's a lot to do. What's that?
Helena is a typical Czech name. Like
Is it really?
Yeah. You can have
Oh,
Helenas in your classes. Yeah.
I didn't even realize that.
Sorry, I interrupted.
No, that's okay. So yeah, there's a Czech connection right there. Helena is the capital of Montana, and there's a lot to do in the town itself. So it's not to say that you would just be isolated on a small campus in the middle of nowhere. You're in the middle of a bustling city. And it's very beautiful, as these pictures can show you, I think. And there's a lot to do in town. There's like breweries, parks, lots of restaurants, things like that. So I wanted to like kind of highlight how small the school is, but that doesn't, just because the school is small doesn't mean that, it's all there is. There's a lot to do in the area. And they, again, football, as you can see, is pretty big at every school in the Midwest. But so Montana State University is just called MSU usually. This is the one that I toured the school. I backed out like 2 weeks before school started. I was gonna go here, so I'm a pretty big fan of this school. But it's located where the star is on the map here, and so it's really close to Idaho and Wyoming, and it is maybe 15 minutes away from Yellowstone National Park. So it's a great place to live. It was founded in 1893. There's about 16,800 students-ish, 250 majors and minors offered, and then about 350 international students each year. So you can kind of see there's not as many international students compared to the enrollment as there is in other schools. And I couldn't tell you why that is. I think maybe it's like athletics or something. There's not a ton of sports offered at this school, so that could be part of the reason. Yeah, I don't know. Going to MSU, sorry, that's a different school. The campus itself is a mixture of like old and new. It's very high tech. A lot of the things there have been updated. There's brand new buildings on campus. So even though the buildings might look old, they're really nice inside, and the facilities are really nice to hang out in, like study in, that kind of thing. You can, like, they value, I should say, like exploration, being adventurous is really important to this school. It's actually the only place in the entire world that you can get a Master in Fine Arts in science and natural history filmmaking. So I thought that was super interesting.
That is, yeah.
Very specific, but it kind of, again, shows you the vibe of this town and the things that they like to do there. Sports are pretty big. There is a football team again. They also have a basketball, and I think there's their women's basketball team, I think, is really valued or has a lot of fans. And then Bozeman, the area, the town that it's in, like I said, right by Yellowstone. So hiking, skiing are very important, very popular. I think everyone hikes, everyone skis or snowboards, that kind of thing. When you're a student, it's sometimes more affordable because they have, clubs in school you can join to get discounted rates on the mountain. And then yeah, so it's a pretty good deal usually. And then the town itself is really historic and really unique. There's not really anywhere like it around.
So you
Yeah,
mentioned you backed out on last minute, but what major were you supposed to study at MSU?
business.
It was supposed to be business. Can you tell
Yes.
us more about the business major at MSU?
Yeah, so it's actually considered its own school. It's called the Jake Jabs School of Business.
Mhm.
But it's on the campus, obviously. The building itself is it's one of the newer ones I mentioned. They have a lot of flexibility within the business major, which is why I wanted to go there because I wasn't quite sure. I obviously didn't go into business, but at the time, I wasn't sure which area, if I wanted to do like marketing or if I wanted to do like merchandising is another kind of business. And they allowed you to kind of be more flexible. And
Mhm.
I really liked that. You didn't have to decide which one you were doing right away. You could take a couple years to explore. So I liked that.
That's
Um,
mhm.
yeah. I didn't end up going there because I was afraid to move away from home, but yeah.
We do have a lot of business applicants, so it's
Okay.
great that we know that there is this MIMSU,
Mm-hmm.
and you can easily combine it with outdoor activity and
Yeah.
just being very close to Yellowstone National Park. That is beautiful. I visited myself, and it was just breathtaking experience.
Yeah.
All the bisons and like just
Mm-hmm.
I am a city person, but I enjoy this tremendously.
Same here. I don't like thrive on, climbing mountains or anything, but I do love Yellowstone. It's very cool.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so yeah, that is one of the like business, it's one of the better schools to go to for business.
Mhm.
Um, the University of Montana is, as you can see, it's very close to Idaho. Another really fun mountainous state. Missoula, Montana is where it's located. It was founded in 1893. About 10,000, 11,000 students enrolled. And then there's 97 majors or minors and about 400 international students every year.
Mhm.
Let's see. So this is a smaller school, and it's really focused on research.
Mhm.
So the University of Montana, I don't want to say it like values academics more than other colleges, but because that's not true. But they do put a lot of stock into like test scores and things when you're applying.
Mhm.
And so then it kind of contributes to the culture on campus as well as being more serious, I guess.
Mhm.
They don't really have like I mean, they do have a sports team and they do have sports, but there is more of a academic focus there. So if you're a very studious person, this might be a good school for you.
Mhm.
Um, Again, there's a lot of active um like clubs that take place outside. You can kind of see in this picture of the school here that there's an M in the background.
Mhm.
They hike up to that M, like some students do that every day. It's like a very common thing to it's called hiking the M.
Mhm.
Um, so hiking, skiing, those kinds of outdoor sports, winter or summer, are very popular. There's a lot to do on campus or off. It's a very it's called Missoula is called the like cultural hub of Montana.
Mhm.
There's a lot of different like populations converging there. So there's like retirees, often older people that are done working. There's students. There's like kind of like hippies, drifters, like that type of thing. And there's like people who love sports, really big sports fans. So it's just kind of like shouldn't make sense that they all live together, but they do, and it works. It's a very like bustling, busy town. There's always a ton to do. There's like a film festival, there's galleries in town, there's theaters, museums, libraries, so always something to do. Um, and I think that's a really big perk of going to school there. Um, I think that might be my last slide. I just wanted to to sum up school in Montana. It's very like community oriented. Um you kind of get the sense that like everyone's your neighbor, even if you don't know them, type of thing. People are very helpful. Even if the schools themselves are a bit smaller, that doesn't necessarily mean you feel like you're in a small town. There's a lot to do. A lot to do in Montana. Not just outdoorsy stuff, but yeah.
Thank you so much, Tylee. Thank you for introducing Montana to Czech students, and I hope that they'll find it interesting, some of the schools that you talked about. If you guys who are watching have any further questions, feel free to reach out to me. I'm an Education USA advisor at the Fulbright Commission, so you can reach me through email at advisor@fulbright.cz, or feel free to connect on social media under the handle Education USA Czech. And if you have questions for Tylee, I'll be happy to forward them to her. So thank you and have a great day.